So you're gonna like put it on to record?
It's on record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. And so probably the best is if everyone mutes their mic, then there won't be any background noise. And we have a whole bunch of new faces tonight as a result of new adventures for me. Certain people here are now becoming my partners. So this is pretty cool that they all showed up here. It's nice to see you here. What we generally do in this full moon meditation is I give a little bit of a teaching and then I'll give a theme, and then we'll meditate together for 15 to 20 minutes. And then at the end, the last 10 minutes, if anyone wants to say anything or you want to continue to chit chat or whatever, sometimes it doesn't feel right to do that after. It all depends. So what I'm going to start with is the Great Invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. So it's a really good idea to take a very deep breath, like a very deep breath. And come to this point of relaxation, all the things that we do and all the things that we think and all the things that we act, and coming into this moment of reflection, coming into this moment of peace and tranquility and unity of thought. And in the intention for tonight's meditation, I want you to keep in your mind's eye in your meditation, again, the threefold flame which resides in your heart, the threefold flame, which is pink, blue, and yellow, and it burns in your heart. The essence of the divine in every human being. Reflect on the fact that your father is in your third eye, and your mother is in your heart, and your father, mother are residing within the threefold flame, the essence of existence, consciousness, and bliss. And the yogis say that there are 5 things that you should know. 2 of them are always changing, and 3 of them never change. Name and form are always changing. Existence, consciousness, and bliss are never changing. That's the essence of who you are. You are a divine, divine being. This evening is a full moon. It's called the wolf moon. And it traces to our indigenous root. It traces to the spirit of the wolf. And the spirit of the wolf, most importantly, flies intuition. From the wolf comes intuition. And the howling of the wolf is the communication that the wolf makes, not howling for the purposes of food, but for the purposes of prayer to the cosmos. The wolf howls at the moon to speak to the cosmos. And this evening's moon is therefore called the wolf moon. As a tad of an experiment, I decided that what I would do this evening is I would just intuitively hit buttons and see what came up in terms of anyone's interpretation of the energy of this moon. And this is what I want to share with you. It comes from someone named Valerie Messa, and she published this on January 27th, 2021. The essence of this full moon is the power that exists in your individual sovereignty, which translates into your own creativity or your own strength or your own courage. It's a reminder that there is an endless fire in your heart. The full moon is in Leo, and this sign is under the cosmic ruler, the sun. And its polar opposite is Aquarius. Leo is symbolic of the birth of authenticity, as it represents the consciousness or the conscious self. It is where the heart recognizes consciousness, and we combine our personality and our soul to radiate love. This is the realization of self. Because the sun is the ruler of Leo, this is a fire sign associated with the solar fire, higher state of consciousness. And always remember, as a human being, you are a fire keeper. You tend 3 fires. You tend the fire of the head, you tend the fire of the heart, and you tend the fire of the loins. And how you tend those fires equals who you are. But with the help of this energy of the full moon, concentrating on the solar fire which exists in your heart with that 3-fold flame, this is the realization of self. The association with solar fire and the heart. Remember that you are a divine being. This sign of Leo is about leadership, and the sign of Aquarius is about community. Now, isn't that interesting in these times? That we have leadership, of which I would say none exists, and community, which is being divided and conquered. At this point, there is a T-square. Mars and Uranus are in Taurus, and the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn are in Aquarius. Contemplate that. Mars, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn. Things will feel tense, but what is necessary to break through is that we must engage in self-realization. This energy will highlight the friction that already exists between the need for individual freedom versus freedom of human consciousness. And at this tense point, something has to give. It should remind the collective to have courage and embrace individual sovereignty. The less you resist the change, the easier it will be. Now I'm going to take something from Alice Bailey, and this is deep and profound, but I'll just say a couple of terminologies here that you can understand. They refer to ashram in this that I'm going to read to you. They refer to ashram. And what they mean is that in the higher dimensions, there are spiritual beings, and those spiritual beings actually participate in an ashram, in a spiritual undertaking. And that you, in essence, each of us, is somehow connected to an ashram. And that's our connection in the higher dimensions, and something that we should put in our mind and consciousness to understand that there are higher dimensional beings working with you, individual, every one of us, because every one of us belongs to an ashram. This is your connection to the spirit world. And so if you put that in your consciousness and you concentrate about the idea that you are actually working with higher beings all the time, then I would think that your increase in courage and sensitivity and creativity for yourself will increase because you have that kind of power working with you. And it doesn't matter where we are, it doesn't matter who we are, it doesn't matter what we are, it doesn't matter when we are, as long as we are. The is. Shakespeare said it, to be or not to be. So in this, they also speak of the hierarchy. And then what they mean by the hierarchy, again, is higher dimensional beings, ascended masters who have gone before us, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Isis, Joan of Arc, Lady Nada, on and on and on. A celestial heaven of higher dimensional beings called the hierarchy, not in the form of the patriarchy, but in the form of higher dimensional beings that exude the feminine and male principle in synthesis. And so this symbol is what I want to show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it well. It may be very difficult. You can't. No, you can't. It's very difficult for me to show it. So what I'm going to describe it for you. So imagine a circle at a top.
Just one more time, Dad. Hold it one more time. And then just let it adjust to focus. So bring it a bit closer because I want to draw it. It's very simple to draw. If you bring it closer to the camera. And then, yep, almost a bit further away. Yep, there we go. Boom. Perfect. I can see now.
Okay, did everyone see that? Yes? Nods? Okay, the bottom line is it's a circle at the top, a complete vertical line coming from the circle. And 2/3 of the way up the vertical line is essentially a 5-pointed star with a point right in the middle of the vertical line. And this is what I want to read to you. You will see that I've combined the 2 crosses of the vertical and the horizontal life with the cross of humanity, and I've also added a circle at the summit of all 3. What, my brother, does this mean? It signifies the following: that the vertical life of spiritual contact with the ashram is constantly preserved by meditation, prayer, and concentration. That the horizontal life of service is preserved with equal care, and that there is a constant stream of planned energy going out to all those who need help. The long limb of the triple cross symbolizes to the disciple that he must go down into the very depths of human life in order to prepare the masses for the reappearance of the Christ and for the externalization of the hierarchy. The sphere at the summit of the cross portrays the place of the disciple's consciousness, his life of reflection, of constant awareness, and the steady focus of his attention is higher than the vertical life of the aspirant, than his horizontal life of service, and indicates the measure of his conscious activity in the ashram. Forget not that an ashram in the hierarchy is on a higher plane than that of the soul. He is therefore alive and active on 3 levels of activity simultaneously, and is in the process of demonstrating, as far as in him lies and his degree of discipleship permits, the 3 divine aspects: the will aspect governing his work within the hierarchy in relation to the great movement coming, the love aspect governing his vertical life and producing spiritual steadfastness in form, the intelligence aspect governing his horizontal life and making him a wise knower and server of his fellow man. Finally, the long line from the point of radiant spiritual focus symbolizes the path from the highest point attained by the disciple to the lowest point of service. You will notice also in this symbol that the secondary point of focus appears where all the lines meet and cross each other. This point represents the disciple's personality, into which the higher radiance must pour, and from which spiritual energy reaches out on all sides. Also, if you will study and think for a while, it will be apparent to you that this cross is only correctly appropriated by or is symbolic of the man who has built or is in the process of building the Antakarana, which is the Rainbow Bridge. Where that bridge is not created, the consciousness of the aspirant cannot focus in the ashram or upon the intuitional levels of consciousness. You can see, therefore, why I have given out the teaching upon the Antakarana. It was done in order that the completion of the Antakarana could be systemically and scientifically carried out by you. I shall not, therefore, repeat the instructions here. You have them and should follow them carefully, bearing in mind that you have at least bridged the gap between the personality and the spiritual triad to a certain extent, and that for you, the need is to complete and strengthen the rainbow bridge and then to use it with facility. So, Antakarana is essentially meaning a rainbow bridge, which is the bridge, let's just say, from your personality to your spiritual self. Let's just put it that way. And there's a physical symbol in relation to the rainbow bridge, and that is that your pineal gland sits really at the front of your brain. I mean, your pituitary gland, and your pineal gland sits maybe in the middle, right in the middle. And most would say that that is your spiritual antenna. And people would say that that spiritual antenna has atrophied because we have not done enough connecting to spirit ourselves. But this can be reawoken, and we can reawake it with our efforts, with our prayer and our meditation and our discipline that we can do for ourselves. And that would build from the pituitary over to the pineal, a bridge, so that no longer the chemical reaction to life, chemical reaction, pituitary, creation, pineal. And so building the bridge from reaction to creation is the rainbow bridge, is the Antakarana. That's why consciousness in your own consciousness and the way that you deal with your own consciousness is so critical to your own unfoldment. Because all of these things you can do. It just requires discipline, and it requires quieting of the mind. And so what we're going to go into now is a meditation, 15 or 20 minutes. And in this meditation, again, I highly encourage you to reflect on that threefold flame symbol, understanding it to be in your heart and be with your father and mother. And that's all. And I will start the meditation with 3 Om Mani Padme Hums. Om Mani Padme Hum means you are the jewel in the lotus. That's what each and every one of you are. Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel in the lotus. So I will start it with 3 Om Mani Padme Hums, and when we come back out of meditation, I will do 3 more to signal that we're out of meditation. So just find yourself in a comfortable position and close your eyes and do your best to concentrate on the threefold flame and your mother and your father. Om Mani Padme.
「おまにぺめ」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」「うん」
mani padme Om mani padme O mani padme O mani padme O mani padme The voice of the silence. How powerful it is to meditate in group. I thank you all for doing this with us, combining our minds and souls into this undertaking. I have something that I have on my altar, and I read every morning, so that I walk with the thought of this during the day, because it can be very, very hard for people to juggle all the things that they have to juggle at this moment in time. But I thought I'd read it to you all. But before actually I read that, I have to share. This meditation launched me into an ashram in Peru. I found myself sitting with my teacher and an ashram master who lives in Yanawara in the Sacred Valley. And they were meditating to this full moon with us, is what they told me, and then said, you must tell everyone, breathe the energy of the Sacred Valley into your heart. Breathe the energy of the Sacred Valley into your heart. So go look about what the Sacred Valley means, what it is. It's called the Sacred Valley for a reason, and it's in Peru. And of course, we are blessed to have our teacher that we work and still work with every day. And that was the message. Breathe the energy of the Sacred Valley into your heart. Oh, and also know that we are one and that we are with you. That we are with you. That was it. And here's what I read to you for your inspiration. A spiritual warrior is a solitary island of integrity. He is not looking for a path, nor to follow the lofty words of past testaments. He is unique and sits in peace while the waves of worldly doubt crash about his foundation of sincerity. But though he stands alone, he feels the presence of an ancient beat. It permeates the air and reverberates throughout his total being. He is not alone, for his remembrance reaches beyond the grave to ancestors who lived in truth beyond the telling of tales. Their energy was consciousness left living as breath to an expanding universe. And though the warrior cannot see with the eye or unravel with the mind, he hears with his heart the silent footfall as the ancient ones sojourn past eternity. Their silent presence inspires him to know that his island of sincerity is embraced of truth and not built of clay and stagnant concepts. Listen to the echo of truth pounding in rhythm to primordial values. It guides a vision to walk the clouds as the future ancestors to so many pleading eyes that long to be born. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, wonderful life, wonderful everything. Yeah. Does anyone have anything they want to say though? please avail yourself of the opportunity. If not, I also understand that because the energy of meditation was very, very intense this evening. Okay,